Only 2 players have ever reached 30 goal involvement in a Premier League season before the halfway mark: Luis Suarez and Mo Salah. Yet, Mo Salah is one of the most disrespected players in Premier League history. Since he came to Liverpool, he's been arguably the best player in the league. He didn't just win some trophies, he won everything. The Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, the PFA Player of the Year twice, multiple golden boots, and that's just the beginning. Mo Salah already has 42 goal contributions this season, surpassing Vinny Jr.'s 37 from his so-called Ballon d'Or-worthy campaign last season. He has more Champions League goals than Eto'o, more Premier League goals than Drogba, and more career goals than George Weah, the only African Ballon d'Or winner. He holds the records for the most goals ever scored in a 38-game Premier League season. He has more Premier League assists than Scholes, Mahrez, and Piers. And here's a stat that will blow your mind. He has scored 20-plus goals in 5 different seasons. That's more than Hazard, Bale, Son, and Drogba combined. Salah has mastered one deadly move, cutting inside from the right onto his left foot, and turned it into a goal-scoring machine. But despite all of this, when people talk about the best players in the world, his name is rarely mentioned. Salah has been the face of the Premier League for years, right up there with De Bruyne and Hazard. Yet somehow, he doesn't get the same national or international recognition. In 2024, after scoring 25 goals and 12 assists in the so-called best league in the world, Salah's name was nowhere to be found among the 30 players nominated for the Ballon d'Or. And here's the wildest part. Even after performing consistently for Liverpool on the biggest stage, Salah had to run PR campaigns just to secure new contracts. So the question is, why is Mohamed Salah so underappreciated? Is it because he's an African player? Is it because of his religion? Is it because he's not flashy on the eyes like Hazard? Or is it simply because the English media refuses to truly appreciate his greatness? Mohamed Salah's football journey is a story of rejection. As a teenager in Egypt, he wasn't the strongest, and he wasn't the fastest. His muscles weren't even fully developed. He had to be put on a special training program just to catch up. But what he lacked in natural ability, he made up for with relentless determination. When he finally got a shot at joining Zamalek, one of Egypt's biggest clubs, they shut the door on his dream without a second thought. He's not good enough, they said. Even when he made it to the Egyptian league, he wasn't an instant star. The goals weren't coming, the performances weren't there, and the pressure was just too much. He left matches in tears, wondering if he'd ever make it. Then out of nowhere, a lifeline appeared. He wasn't an impressive talent, but European scouts saw something that others didn't. Swiss club FC Basel went to extreme lengths just to watch him play. They set up a friendly match just for him, but he didn't even start. He was stuck on the bench. When he finally got his chance, he played like his career depended on it. 2 goals in 45 minutes. That's all it took. Basel signed him on the spot. But leaving Egypt wasn't the end of Salah's struggles. It was just the beginning. New country, new language, new level of football. His first training session at Basel was so bad that the coach thought he had a twin brother. Salah had proven Zamalek wrong, but could he prove himself right in Europe? Basel took their time with him. They eased him in as a super sub. Then, in the second season, Salah exploded. 12 goals, 7 assists, Swiss League champion. He had become one of the best players in the league. And when he faced Chelsea in the Champions League, he destroyed goals in 2 games, scoring the equalizer in their win at Stamford Bridge and the only goal in a 1-0 victory in the return leg. That was all Chelsea needed to see. Suddenly, the Premier League took notice. Liverpool tried to sign him, but Chelsea acted quickly and outbid them, signing him for around 11 million euros. But was Salah truly ready for the biggest stage? When Salah arrived at Chelsea in 2014, he was supposed to be the next big thing. But there was one massive problem. Chelsea wasn't a club that waited for players to develop. Under Roman Abramovich, Chelsea was built on instant success. If you weren't an immediate hit, you were out. There was no patience for potential, no room for slow adaptation. Chelsea was stacked with attacking talent. Eden Hazard, Oscar, Willian, Shirley, and Salah was just another young player thrown into the mix. At first, it looked like he couldn't break through. He scored against Arsenal in Chelsea's 6-0 demolition of their London rivals. He put a stellar performance against Stoke, scoring, assisting, and winning a penalty. But those were just flashes. Chelsea was ruthless. One bad training session, one underwhelming game, and you could be forgotten. There was no integration period, no easing in, and when Mourinho didn't trust you, you were finished. Salah started just 10 games for Chelsea in all competitions. He was left out of matchday squads. He was humiliated for his bad performances.
Having a bad game. Yeah, bad game. And then obviously Mourinho came in and ripped into him. Massively ripped into him.
I had to keep changing the subject. When Mo Salah was at Chelsea, did you have any idea how great he'd gone to become?
No. I mean,
he's in tears, for goodness sake.
Yeah, he was in tears. Yeah, professional. And then what happened? He didn't let him back into the pitch in the second half. He took him off.
Then Mourinho sent him away to Serie A to improve his tactical awareness. Loaned out to Fiorentina in January 2015, it looked like his Premier League dream was over before it even started. Chelsea fought to sign Salah, only to discard him like he was nothing.
Absolutely not, no chance. And actually, it's my one disappointment as captain, because I go at the time, and I think I adapted over time as captain. So I think I softened the later the years went on. I think those early years when those guys were there, I was probably very strong, very disciplined on the group and how we done things. Actually, that was probably the first sign where they needed probably an arm around their shoulder, a sit down and a discussion of could I've maybe helped him settle in. So actually from those two players specifically to the levels they've gone, I'm disappointed in myself as captain. And I think that I have and I'll never be able to replace again.
But Salah didn't sulk. He reinvented himself in Italy. At Fiorentina, he became a completely different player. Faster, stronger, and smarter. In just 6 months, he was one of the rising stars in Serie A. He embarrassed Juventus. He scored in cup finals, and when his loan ended, Roma came calling. That's where the real transformation happened. At Roma, Salah developed into a goal-scoring machine. 15 goals in his first season, 19 in his second. He was fast and dynamic in a static league. By the time 2017 came around, he was one of the best players in Italy. And then Liverpool came calling a second time. They signed him for 36 million euros, one of the biggest bargains in football history. Salah was coming back to England, but this time he was ready. Chelsea threw him away. Now he was about to make them regret it. The Premier League had no idea what was coming next. When Mohamed Salah arrived in Liverpool in 2017, he was a man on a mission. Chelsea had discarded him. Roma had rebuilt him, but now he was ready to take over England. Yet, despite his electric start at Anfield, critics were already trying to downplay his greatness. He's just pace and a left foot. They said he's predictable. Scores because of Klopp's system. They said he's a one-season wonder. But let's debunk these myths once and for all, because the reality? Salah has evolved from a speedy winger into one of the most complete forwards in world football.
En su época fue Leo. Aquí en la Premier, diría que Salah, probablemente en su prime, Salah.
Even Mbappe, one of the best attackers of his generation, admitted that he loves watching Salah play.
And to talk about Mohamed Salah is one of the best players in the world.
Yet somehow, Salah's dominance is still overlooked. Salah's transformation into a goal-scoring machine didn't happen overnight. It took the perfect manager, the perfect system, and an obsession with proving his doubters wrong. In 2014, Liverpool had already identified him as a future star, but Chelsea hijacked the deal. 3 years later, they finally got their man. And in his very first season under Jurgen Klopp, he broke the league. 44 goals in all competitions, 32 goals in the Premier League. a record for a 38-game season, Liverpool Player of the Season, PFA Player of the Year, FWA Footballer of the Year, Champions League finalist. Salah wasn't just a winger anymore. Klopp's system turned him into a goal-scoring machine. Under Klopp, Salah played as a wide forward instead of a traditional winger. He was no longer hugging the touchline, exploded under Klopp's system. Liverpool wasn't built around a classic number 9. Instead, they had a false 9 in Firmino, a creator in Mane, and Salah as the ultimate goal threat. The results? Salah became the most dangerous player in England. But even after rewriting history, they still called him a system player any season he had under Klopp. And what's even scarier? Salah has evolved into an elite creator. The volume of chances he creates is staggering. These aren't just routine crosses, they're laser-guided passes. His pinpoint crosses towards the post, his through balls into the penalty area. Salah is now Liverpool's most lethal weapon against defensive blocks. He started so well under Slot, he won 18 Man of the Match awards in his first 23 Premier League games under the new manager. But when his critics couldn't argue against his adaptation to different football philosophies, they moved the goalposts again. Salah doesn't get people out of their seats. They said he wasn't as aesthetically pleasing as Hazard, that Hazard's dribbling and flair made him the better footballer. Yet Salah has a catalogue of Messi-like solo goals. Just ask Manchester City. His tight space dribbling, his acceleration, and his first touch are out of this world. When he was younger, he was a Ryan Giggs-type winger, escaping defenders like they weren't even there, using pure pace and skill. Michael Richards, who trained with Salah at Fiorentina, was left speechless. He used to get the ball in training, dribble past everyone, and score. Yet while the football world worshipped Hazard's elegance and Bale's explosiveness, they refused to give Salah the same respect. The truth? Scored and out-assisted Hazard every season. And here's the best part. Even Hazard himself weighed in on who's the better footballer.
Who's better, you or Mo Salah?
Mo Salah, by far.
And for those who called him a goal merchant, Salah shut them up too. In 2022, he won the Premier League Playmaker Award for the most assists in the league. Trivelas, precision crosses, his assist catalogue is just as vast as his goal collection. Even Arsene Wenger, one of football's greatest minds, had to admit it. Salah had evolved into one of the most complete footballers of his generation.
Touches last night of a playmaker, he created chances around the box.
So now the question is, if a player dominates goal scoring, assists, dribbling, and playmaking, what else does he need to do to be recognized as one of the greatest? Maybe this problem isn't Salah's style of play, maybe the real problem is how football sees African players. The hardest thing in football? Sustaining greatness. Anyone can shine for a season. Many players explode onto the scene, light up the league for a year or two, and then fade away. Injuries, tactics, form. Football is ruthless. One bad season and you're forgotten. But only the best stay at the top year after year, and nobody in the Premier League has done it like Mo Salah. Since arriving at Liverpool, he's never had a bad season. 30+ goal involvements every single year, no matter how good or bad the team is.
No, he's a fantastic player.
He's world class.
He's a fantastic.
For a while.
Yes.
Still think I'd put Salah first.
Really?
Yeah.
He was ruthless that season, wasn't
that
he?
season
Everything he
was-
touched.
Even when Liverpool struggled, even when injuries hit the squad, even when people Salah kept delivering. While others faded or left, Salah remained Liverpool's main man. In big games, he always showed up. Salah's record against the Premier League's Big Six is incredible. Against Manchester United, 13 goals, 6 assists, 15 appearances. His 6 goals at Old Trafford make him the highest scoring visiting player in Premier League history at Manchester United's home ground. And here's a stat that will blow your mind. Salah has both scored and assisted more goals against Manchester United than any other player in Premier League history. And it wasn't just United. He dominated Manchester City, 8 goals and 5 assists in 12 appearances. Tormented Chelsea, 5 goals and 4 assists in 14 appearances. Destroyed Arsenal, 11 goals and 2 assists in 17 appearances, outclassed Spurs, 14 goals and 4 assists in 21 appearances. Even when Klopp's Liverpool declined after their peak years, Salah's output never dropped. In the 2023-24 season, despite being 32, despite Liverpool transitioning, despite his first major injury, he managed to get 25 goals, 14 assists, and he was still the club's best player. He never relied on pace alone. He's never relied on luck. His game is built on intelligence, movement, and world-class finishing. And that's why, while other wingers fade in their 30s, Salah is still one of the best in the world. At this point, his numbers don't just make him one of the best wingers in Premier League history. They put him in a different conversation, a conversation only legends belong in. But where does Salah truly rank among the Premier League greats? Some players are great for a moment, others leave behind a legacy that lasts forever. So, let's ask the real question. Where does Mo Salah truly rank in Premier League history? Because when you compare his numbers to other greats, the answer might surprise you. Salah is the best right winger in Premier League history. His stats and longevity put him above some of the biggest names to ever play in England. A better Premier League career than Bale, Hazard, Beers, and Kane. Liverpool's 4th highest goalscorer of all time, 6th highest Premier League goalscorer ever, and still counting. And now, some believe he belongs in an even bigger conversation. The greatest player in Premier League history. The Thierry Henry comparisons have already begun.
Now you really do have to have Salah up there in that category of best forwards ever in the Premier League.
Both players dominated their eras. Both were unstoppable at their peak. Both redefined what a goal-scoring winger could be. But here's the challenge Salah faces. Can you truly be the Premier League's best ever when Paul Scholes and Ryan Giggs have 10+ league titles? When Kevin De Bruyne already has 6 and counting? Maybe there's only one way to discard every doubt and hush all the haters. Keep scoring, keep winning, keep rewriting history. If Salah commits to his future to Liverpool, his next target is clear. Alan Shearer's all-time record, 260 Premier League goals. The ultimate milestone, a record that has stood untouched for decades. A record that, if broken, could settle the debate once and for all. But here's maybe an even more interesting debate. Is Salah Liverpool's greatest ever Premier League player?
Mo Salah will be in that position. He will be in the all-time Liverpool 11. There's no doubt for me about that.
For years, Steven Gerrard was the undisputed king of Anfield, the Scouser, the captain, the leader, and the man who carried Liverpool to glory, even when they were miles away from being the best team in England. But now, Salah has a case. More goals, more individual awards, a bigger role in Liverpool's most dominant era. Gerrard was the heart and soul of Liverpool for over a decade, but Salah delivered the club's greatest period in the Premier League era and shattered records along the way. So what do you think? Where does Mo Salah rank among the greatest Premier League players of all time? And would you consider him Liverpool's greatest player ever? Or does Gerrard still hold the crown? Salah came from nothing, rejected in Egypt, failed at Chelsea, overlooked by the media, disrespected in England, but he never stopped. And now, he is a Liverpool legend. He is inevitable. He is the Egyptian king. He is Mo Salah.